out the new SJ Cam 4000 GoPro clone. Here at a school out in rural Maryland, and some really old houses next door. I might go knock on their doors and stuff. I'm hoping, this is my first try with this camera, so I don't know how the audio is going to be. But I might try knocking on some doors after I do a little bit of swinging here. The school was made in the 50s or 60s, I think. I can't remember the exact date. I did look it up. But there's some really big trees right here. If you want to pan around, there's a big tree there. There's a big tree right there. And there's a few further down, but they're not that big. But I'm hoping this area is going to be old. Hopefully we'll find some silver. Alright, here's the first update. I just had target right here. I believe it was right there. Can't even tell where I dug. Yeah, it was right there. And it was this pendant right here. Little 4-leaf clover. It's just junk, pot metal. There's no... It looks gold, but it's definitely not. There's no marking on it. I'll look at it a little bit closer later when I clean it up. And then about 1.5 feet away, I had another signal. It was about around 2 to 3 inches down, and it was another pendant. This one looks silver, but it's not. There's no markings on it on the back, but it says Washington D.C. Area Bowling Association, I believe. And it says 246 pins. So it's an awesome find. It's got a picture of the Washington Monument on it. You'll see it more when I clean it up later. So starting to find some good stuff. I'm about to go next door to the school to at least ask about the yards. There's 2 old houses there, and I believe they own both houses. And they're built in the mid-1800s, so I'm really hoping that they say yes. But see you next time. Alright, here's the wrap-up, tailgate wrap-up for the school. I did go next door to 2 old houses over there, but there was no doorbell on the front door, and the screen doors were locked, so I couldn't use the knocker on the main door. But I did knock and nobody answered. But I got a bunch of clad. This weird rock I'm going to clean up, see if my son wants it. He collects rocks. And then I got those 2 charms, pendants. Lucky 4-leaf clover and a bowling one. I got a bunch of quarters, dimes, and pennies. No nickels. The oldest things were probably some pennies from the 60s. But I'm going to try to hit up a church down the road. Looks like their front yard is all dug up. So I'm going to see if they'll let me check it out. I'm going to eat my lunch, and I'll get back to you. Alright, here's the wrap-up. I'm going to do a wrap-up from earlier in the week. I went out on Monday night, and I went out on Thursday. I went out on Tuesday as well, but I only found 1 penny. And I think that penny's mixed up in there because I didn't bother taking it out of my pouch. And then this is all from today, but we'll check out earlier in the weeks first. Alright, so I went to a park with my son while he was playing around with some toys. And I didn't find much, as you can see, 59 cents. That was from like an hour or so. Thursday night I went out and found 81 cents. The bottom 2 rows are actually zinc pennies. So I was getting pretty desperate on Target, so I was digging a lot of zincs. As you can see, this one's really bad. So, and then I found my first partial harmonica reed. I see people getting these all the time on YouTube. This is my first one. Don't know how old it is, but who knows. That park that I went to for these has houses built in like the 40s and 50s around it. So All right, so those were familiar in the week. Oh, and also a key, and the key is from a GM vehicle around, I would say around '98, because I had a Chevy Lumina that had the same exact key with that little chip in it. And it was a '98 Lumina. All right, so my first stop today was at an elementary school, and I found a ton of clad. Total of $4.23. Found a bunch of quarters, bunch of dimes. These 2 rows are dimes. And these are all copper pennies. I think the oldest was a 68. Actually, I found a bunch of 68 pennies. So I think the oldest out of this bunch was a 65 dime, I believe. And within the 2 targets, these targets were really close to each other, about a foot away. And found them right next to each other, basically. This one's a 4-leaf clover. Just, it's colored gold. It's kind of heavy, but it's not gold. There's no markings, and you can kind of see where it's corroding at the bottom. So it's probably copper covered in something. Now this one here, I don't know if you can see up close, but we'll try. This is my new action cam. Still trying to work out how it works. But it is Washington, D.C. area Women's Bowling Association. And then it says 246 pins. And it's got a representation of the Washington Monument in the middle. And it looks like some stars or something around it. But cool find. And then the second place I went to was my go-to park, of course. Didn't find anything really special there today. I got 79 cents. I got this cool skeleton key plate, keyhole plate. Pretty cool. It's not, I don't know what it's made out of. I'm assuming copper, but it's starting to get corroded. So I don't know if it's a mixture or not of metals, but it's a cool find. This doodad thing here, I have no idea what it is, but it's weird. I don't know. I have no clue. This end is kind of pointed and is black. I'm assuming it was some kind of pull. Maybe some kind of valve. I don't know. You pull it out. I have no idea. And I got this suspender strap or belt. Nothing special. Dog tag. Dog's name was Bailey. It's got a number and an address on the back, but I'm not going to dwell on that. In between these 2 spots, I went to a couple houses. I didn't get any answers at doors. Then I went back to the one house that was near that school. The guy was mowing on his riding mower. I went up to him, and he's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Just have a question for you. If you would allow me to metal detect your front yard." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Metal detect." He's like, "No, you can't do that. You can't do over there either," meaning his other side of his yard. But I was just asking, so it doesn't hurt to ask. Well, he didn't have to be a jerk about it. So that was my day, and I did go to that church that was nearby this school. But by the time I got there, nobody was there. So, oh well. I'll have to try to go there again when they're open or when somebody's there. maybe donate a bunch of food for food bank. But there you have it. And I do have a new camera, which I mentioned earlier. It's the SJ Cam 4000. It's basically the cheap GoPro clone. But it came with all these attachments in here, including the case, which I was using earlier, so the volume might have been off earlier. Right now it's just on a tripod that I'm holding. And all these attachments in there, so came with a lot of stuff for about 80 bucks. So hopefully it'll work out for me. I have a thing coming in the mail so I can attach it to my AT Pro so I can get some better shots in the field, including some live digs. But there you have it, and hopefully my next dig will be a good dig. So take care, happy hunting, thanks for watching. Coin Digger out.